All right, let's talk Georgia Bulldogs football. This is the time of year where we're starting to transition from the 2024 season, the prior season, into the future, right? We've got spring ball right around the corner. Some programs actually in the Southeast have kicked off spring ball. It's an exciting time, means the freshmen have arrived, and there's some new Bulldogs that are off to great starts and pressing all the right people. We'll get into that in just a second. But first, I'm Nick. This is Saturday Morning Inspection. All right, the Georgia Bulldogs are no strangers to elite recruiting classes, and they're no strangers to having freshmen have incredible early careers with the Dogs. And this latest class appears to be no different. Let's pull up this report courtesy of On3 Sports. On3, Steve Wiltfong and Pete Nako spoke with sources at several schools, including Michigan, Georgia, Alabama, and Ohio State, to learn which top 2025 recruits are already turning heads. And here's what they had to say about the Dogs. Defensive lineman Elijah Griffin is a bulletproof prospect, really talented, really driven, one of the best I've been around. Maturity habits. This guy is a pro. Running back Bo Walker is kind of forgotten man, transferred to missing time. He was probably the best raw runner in the state of Georgia last year. Super instinctive, absolute pain in the ass in the bowl prep. He's a really good runner. Wide receiver CJ Wiley is just world class size and speed. Tight end Ellis Williams. They don't make many like him. He looks like he's a shooting guard, small forward, kind of a quiet head down, but freakish talent. The radius is rare. He was built in a lab. That's a lot of high praise for a lot of freshmen. I love specifically what was said about Elijah Griffin, but there's a bunch of different ways you can take this. And Miles, I know you've got a few thoughts, but Georgia fans, you first in the comment section below. Which of these new freshmen, not just the guys listed here, but any member of the freshman class at large, do you think will have the biggest early impact for the Dogs in 2025? Give us this exciting young freshman you can't wait to see. Put them in the comment section below. But Miles, what are your thoughts on this latest news out of Athens?
Yeah, Nick, I think this is big news for the Dogs, and I really like a lot of these guys. Like you said, Griffin's great, all else is great, Wiley's great, but I love the words that were said about Bo Walker. I really like that. First of all, any running back's got named Bo. I think it's going to be a really great star early on, but I do love what they say about him because I think this has the means to be the most underrated player in this class. Bo Walker is third from the bottom of the list as far as the ranking of recruits that Georgia was able to pick. Not to say that he wasn't good. He was still pretty dang good. A high 3-star recruit for Bo Walker, but in-state guy. I think he has the ability to come in here and just really be a difference maker on this Georgia team. He's already making noise. I really love what they're saying about him. But 5'8", 205 pounds, probably get a little bit bigger, get closer to that 215 mark in college. I think this guy could be an absolute menace at the running back position, where Georgia been known to make some pretty good running backs in their day, been known to really be able to recruit the running back position well. So I think out of all these guys, everyone's very talented. No one in a Georgia recruiting class is going to be a bad player. But I think they got an under the radar type of steal out of a guy like Bo Walker.
Yeah, I agree with everything you said there, but I'm just going to go back to Griffin, man, because when you talk about a guy who's a headliner of a class, these are the guys that I think can make or break a program. Because, like you said, Georgia's going to do a great job in recruiting. They're always going to have a lot of really good players, but sometimes these difference makers, like a guy like Griffin is supposed to be, that can be the difference between a class being what sends a team on, excuse me, to greatness, or you kind of flame out, only win like 11, 12 games, maybe lose in the college football playoff. Griffin's early comments or the comments about Griffin talking about his maturity, talking about he's a pro's pro as a kid right out of high school, essentially. Right now, Griffin and the rest of these guys, they should be worrying about who they're taking to senior prom. Instead, we're talking about in Griffin's case here, the fact he's a mature guy, he's a leader already so early in his collegiate career. That's a phenomenal sign because I always worry, it doesn't matter who it is, if you're this big of a recruit, this talented of a kid, do you have too much of an ego? Do you have too much of a I'm the biggest, baddest dude on the block? And look, I played small time Division 1 AA football, right? FCS as it's called now. And we had recruits that would come in and again, small level college football, right? We're talking about 1, 2 star recruits, like nothing special at all. And they come in and thought they ruled the roost and they were just the bee's knees. I'm just like, dude, like you wouldn't be here if you were that great. Let's be totally honest. And you're going to be a backup here looking at you. But they would come in and they just thought they were great, thought they were the awesome. Especially in Griffin's case, there's a strong argument to make that maybe he should have an ego because he's that talented, but he doesn't have it. He's a beast with a lot of maturity. Love to see that. That usually means he'll get the respect of the veterans, he'll get the respect of the coaches, which will help facilitate him getting more playing time. And it's always really important to get off to a strong start. You get off to a strong start during the winter workouts, that carries over into spring, which carries over into summer workouts, which carries over to training camp, which carries over into the regular season. Strong starts matter. It doesn't mean your career is going to flame out if you don't have one, but it's usually a strong indicator that you're going to get off to a good start. I love all the comments about all these freshmen, but to me, Griffin is the one who stands out here.